There you go. Support the money.
I know.
A couple of additional items. There's no assurance the affordable units will be built. I'm reading something in somebody a second. In the case the project goes under midway, provision should be made to phase the project so no building permits are issued beyond a certain number of units until the affordable units are built. If this is being done for affordable reasons, I think we should be assured as a town that at least the affordable building units go up, and we have some surety that that's going to happen first, and it won't be at the end of the project, and then for some reason we have some default, not to say anybody will, and say, gee, we have 8 market rate units and 2 affordables don't go up, and guess what? Yeah.
The affordability requirements are within the purview, the phasing of it is within the purview of the subsidizing agency. Certainly, the boilerplate that I gave to the town would have suggested a springing permanent restriction that would be recorded now, but spring into effect later in favor of the town to make sure that it's permanently affordable. And I haven't reviewed the entire document to make sure that they're in there.
I want to make sure that we're
Just make
protected
sure
that way,
it
so we
is.
get the units anyway. The project suffers financial issues. Landscaping is the first to go, as we all know. As a condition, we should make it that it's a requirement, and we have some surety that the landscaping is going to go in. It's not going to be cut at the end of the project because of financial issues. So whether we have money put in escrow, whether we have a guarantee or some sort, that we have something to fall back on, that the town doesn't take the burden of putting all the screening up, because it just comes out of the project at the end. Also, I don't see any surety required for the construction of the roadway. Just like any other subdivision roads, surety should be held until the top course goes on and through the one complete winter prior to release of the surety, to make sure we get good paving and
It's not a
finished roadway.
subdivision. It's not selling lots.
Certainly, what you can do is say that all the infrastructure needs to be installed before, the first occupancy permit issues.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
in there.
Not that my language is always correct, but at least you get the idea.
I think
Those
it's
would be
not
great.
in there. I thought that was in.
I'll make sure. It's in my boilerplate, I think.
It may be.
You could do something similar
Take a
for the
look at that.
landscaping,
Yeah,
and say,
usually.
you can't give the last occupancy permit until it's all in.
last two.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. That's it, right, in terms
You're
of
proposing
conditions?
sewer on 3, and we're proposing that
Can we offer any feedback from the neighbors on those
We
conditions?
just heard from them.
Sure.
Do you have additional?
Okay, yeah. I'd like to hear, if these are the conditions that you're setting at this point and not open to change, I'd like to hear why you weren't more aggressive. You're there representing us,
Yes. Yes.
right? And you should be pushing this developer harder. This is a very high-impact proposal for a historical neighborhood on a scenic road. That was made clear what the visual impacts of that were going to be. This is breaking the pattern of the neighborhood. You have a chance to greatly mitigate that issue. I've demonstrated that to you. We've demonstrated that to you. State law is being broken with all the trees at risk. There's no room for perimeter buffering. That's the issue. Even if you move these things in, they take away trees and they put up shrubs and there's less buffering. As you walk along the street, there's no screening because there's no land for screening. So you're going to be driving down Merriam Street, you're going to be seeing right into this thing. You're going to be driving down Howlett and this house is going to be looming in your face. So it's a real issue. And I presented to you guys, or we presented to you guys, what I thought was a real win-win opportunity. I went to the trouble of putting a lot of time into a pro forma, and I did confer with experts. I hired an architectural firm to perform the layout, to present the renderings, and to show that this was very, very possible and was very, very good. It created more room for perimeter buffering. It created 2 fields for buffering, actually, along Merriam Street and along Howlett. And it moved the Howlett house in, and it made everything much better for everybody. Not just the abutters, the whole neighbors and the whole town. So he had an opportunity to take those ideas and build those, into a pro forma demand of him. What you've described here is good, it's good work. He's not going to have to do a pro forma to make that decision, no question about it. I think you need, in negotiations, you have the opportunity to push hard, and you didn't. And I think you have the responsibility.
Can I respond to that?
I think you have the responsibility to push hard. You're not giving up by pushing hard. You're not giving up on all the good work. That fork comes later in the road. There's no reason not to push hard. You're asking him often, is that okay? Is that okay? I want you to ask us, is that okay? Is that
Asking him if
okay?
it's okay, because we're getting to the point of wanting to know if these conditions, he's saying, so far, the only thing he said no to is the 5.
It's okay
No,
for
you're
him to
not, let
say
me
no.
finish, let me
It's
finish.
okay for him to say no.
I'm asking if that's okay, because I want to know in my head, what things are troubling him? What are we putting together? I want to know the
It
list
turns out
that
the
is not
things that are going to
working.
trouble him are the things that matter to us. It's just going to happen that way. When I say you need to comply, you need to enforce setbacks all along the way, at 261 Miriam Street, we're willing to sacrifice setbacks for the sake of the whole neighborhood, right? So I'm willing to say along 261 Miriam Street, let them have those setback waivers, no problem, because that'll make the project work.
I don't know.
That's the house next door.
The house on the corner is down to 17 feet. If we insist on setbacks of 25, the project can't happen at all. I want the project to happen. So I'm saying, let them have that waiver, but enforce setbacks along the other sides. And, no,
But
you're
that's
not
what we
enforcing
just did.
setbacks on the other sides.
No, you just.
You're not, and you're not enforcing setbacks at 11 Hallett Hill, which is a major issue. That's right at Merriam, it's right in a historic area. People are gonna walk in, there's a new house spilling out onto the street.
Guys,
And
also, you need to.
just one more thing. I'm not expressing myself well, or maybe not even often enough, but when you take out the 2 units, you create more land for buffering.
You know what, we understand that, but we can't tell them to just take out 2
And I
units.
respond to that because he's
We've
been on
heard
this
that
case for
over and
6
over
months.
again
I-
from
no,
our
I-
town council.
But she's
Winifred,
not-
I know, Winifred, she told you how to do it.
Yes.
She told you how to do it.
Right through it, Winifred.
She told you how to do
Gave you
it.
the map.
They
So-
walked me through with a pro
We
forma
get it.
that made no sense. We pointed that out at the last
Well,
hearing. His
that
numbers were wrong. He doesn't know how to do
That's
real estate
okay.
finance, so that's a bogus issue. 8 units is totally bogus, and you're absolutely right. You gotta lose your shirt when you go on that issue.
Alan, if you
So-
had stuck with.
We're not gonna lose our
Look,
shirt.
I don't
Yes,
We're
you
not
are.
gonna- No, we're not gonna lose our shirt. We're all professionals, we're all smart people. I probably know this project as well as you do.
You don't know
Mr.
how to do
Engler.
numbers, I'll tell you that right
I
now.
don't have
All
any
right,
numbers, I'm a
all right, that's a-
mathematician, okay?
One comment and then.
Not real estate.
Anyway,
I think that the concern is losing control, right? So my question is, how different is this latest plan from the original? And I would say that it's marginal.
different.
To be
Incremental.
Marginal. They've addressed some technical issues, but otherwise it's marginal.
It addresses.
why not push harder? I don't understand. That's my question to you, actually. As a
We
person
can't
to a
just
person.
tell them to reduce the
No,
size.
you're just supposed to have to do
I
it. Let go of that idea. Whatever Alana said to do to get to that point, I won't argue minus 2 units. I'm saying enforce the setbacks on all sides except for 261 Miriam and enforce it at the front of Hallett. That has major implications. It creates more space and it creates an opportunity for a visual buffer around the property. And it reduces the hydrology issues as well.
Also, what you guys decide here sets a precedent for the next 40Bs that are
No,
coming
it
in line.
doesn't.
Yes,
Because
it
we're gonna
does.
be under-
Yes, it
We're going
does.
to be under a housing protection plan.
No,
I mean,
that's
No,
not
it
what
doesn't.
No, no, no,
That's-
no,
that's
no.
misinformation.
3 others on the
That's
board
not-
still
that'll
do
take
it.
another 2 years.
Absolutely no.
That'll take
If
2
you
years.
let this be a sloppy, schlocky job, they're all gonna be that way. Stand firm. You have a right to.
I just don't know why not push hard at this point.
Listen
You're
to
not
your
giving up.
attorney.
You're
Listen
not
to your
giving up on
attorney.
anything. Why not push hard? Answer.
I thought
I
we
mean,
were
it's just-
pushing hard.
No.
Let me just kind of go through some of the things that, I mean, I'm no engineer, but my understanding, the plans have changed significantly for sewage. They have changed significantly for drainage.
They've complied. They've had to comply with state law for
It was
sewage.
not, they complied in the original plan with
No, they
drainage
did. Robert
and-
identified T5 issues.
Oh, my
All they
God.
did
Now
with
they
sewage was
comply
comply.
No.
They had to do that legally.
But now
No.
they comply.
All they've done is, most of what they've done is they've made adjustments to legally comply with the Board of Health.
I'm sorry that that's the way you see it. We're all attorneys here, we understand what is required of our position. We're trying very hard to look at plans, create conditions that are going to have,
I've given
that
you
are
really
legal.
simple conditions. Enforce the setbacks around the rim except for 261 Merriam, and push back Hallett Hill to X many feet, whatever the standard is from the street.
I don't see that. Okay.
Why not do that? Why not?
Why not?
If you're gonna
You know-
question anything, why not
But
do it,
why-
why
you
not
know-
do it right?
And you're supposed to represent us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
So
and
you're
we
not
also
giving
have
up
to think
anything.
about-
There's no downside to
No,
doing
no,
it.
no, so,
And your lawyer advice, can I read something
Sure.
in the balancing?
No, at the balance, I'm talking to
Hold
you,
on.
confused them.
Shut up, Tony.
You're
I'm talking to the chair.
You confused them with that.
You don't have any rights to interrupt what I'm
Okay, so
talking
what-
about.
You're confusing them, Bob.
wait a
Hey,
minute.
sorry.
Hold on.
oh, we're
I'm
not
reading the
easily,
law.
we're not
Okay,
easily
okay,
confused.
Let me read the law.
All right.
The way
You
of
read
local
that.
concern will be commensurate with the degree to which the health and safety of the occupants or municipal residents is imperiled, okay, that's a strong word. The degree to which the natural environment is endangered, very strong word. The degree to which the design of the site and the proposed housing is seriously deficient, et cetera, et cetera. A stronger showing shall be required on the local concern side of the balance where the housing need is relatively great and when the housing need is not so great. You're at 3%. What they're saying in the regulations, and Lana said it 2 hours ago, your test is very strong. Imperiled residents and deficient. You know what the state's gonna say with 10 single-family houses on 3 acres? They're gonna laugh.
That's what
Wow.
everything he said is when it's uneconomic.
Right.
Everything he said is when it's uneconomic. If it stays economic, that's not an issue.
35 years. You guys have been around.
No, Alana, everything he said was
Hold on.
uneconomic.
All right, quiet.
Everything.
That's correct.
She
Right,
said
so
that.
that's what,
Uneconomic.
right, so I think
We understand that.
we would like to see what happens when we move these 3 units in.
All of them.
All of
There's
them.
no
Why
problem.
not?
Why stop?
Winifred.
Winifred, I don't understand why
Well,
you
first
think
of
we-
all, you said you didn't care about
261.
these.
That's not what
and
it
then-
said.
Can I approach you with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm
You just
saying,
said you
as a
didn't care about
compromise for the sake of the neighborhood,
Right.
right? We're saying if you enforce setbacks along the rim here, we're willing to compromise here. Because if we don't compromise, the whole plan isn't possible. But we also want this first unit pushed back.
If the
That's
first
what
unit,
we're saying. Well, they lose, that's what he's saying.
the first, if you push that first unit back, you lose the unit, right? Which is,
C'est la vie.
that's your goal, that's your goal.
So what? What's so what? That's my goal.
And you
Your
lose a lot of
responsibility is
time.
not-
Ilana's saying, you see, Ilana's saying you can't go directly there, you go indirectly there. That's the way to do it.
I understand the
That's
strategy,
the game
Tony.
you need to play.
I'm not playing a game, I'm
Well,
doing my
a
job.
strategy. That's the strategy
doing
you
my
need to
job.
play.
This is
So I'm gonna lose. I live directly across the street at 254 Marion Street, and I have been advised that my property will be substantially reduced in value by the building of this.
Yeah, and
Totally
it's
myth
gonna,
myth about 40B reducing property.
The point from me remains, why not? Why not become more aggressive? Just answer me that question.
What's the downside?
What's the downside? We don't understand it. You're more likely to get an issue from us. You can enable a compromise now. You can ask us what we want, and then you can see if they can fulfill it economically. So that begins a compromise. We won't compromise it, the plans that you have on the table. The neighborhood won't.
They have the rights to go to
so
court.
what you're
Look,
hearing
I-
is
look,
that.
And the
Everything
right is
I've
on
been
our
trying to do
side,
here.
not on their
Yes.
side.
Alan's gonna.
Everything I've been trying to do here is to shrink this down as much as possible, but, and, you know, I'm being shouted at, we're all being shouted at, you guys feel strongly about it, I completely understand. I can't do anything up here by myself. We need 2 votes. So, you know, if I thought I could get 2 votes to impose
Okay,
a
great.
setback requirement at 7C, yeah, I'd go along with that.
So why Winifred and Todd, why don't?
I said to do them everywhere.
Exactly, so why not, Winifred and Connie?
If you're gonna do it, do it.
Why not?
Because I need another vote.
Why not? I'm looking
Well, I
at your
think that-
compatriots.
I think that there's,
It should absolutely be unanimous.
You represent us.
Let them talk, let them talk.
I think that if you were to, I mean, we could ask for that, but I think that if you were to have the whole thing shrunk so that it's all in the setback, it would be economically not feasible.
That's why you asked for
But-
it.
Why you asked, and I've done a pretty thorough analysis.
It
The Brown,
doesn't matter now.
Right.
It doesn't matter, economic viability doesn't matter now.
That's why you do a pro forma. They have the burden of proof to prove to you that it's uneconomic. That's why you do a pro forma.
Leave 7C, 8A, 9A in the side setback, push 7C back from the street line, and push 4A and 3A into the,
Madam Chair,
and-
may
it's
I
impossible.
make
Into the
a
lines.
suggestion
Yes.
through you to ask the developer? Seems as if there may be agreement by the board on the setback increase from unit 3A and 4A, and that there would need to be a pro forma on that. Perhaps the developer would be willing, when doing the pro forma for that, to also do a pro forma that addresses the issue of reducing from 10 to 8. Because if the other setbacks were imposed, you said clearly, and I think that the review consultant agrees, that that would bring you down to 8. Are you willing to do a pro forma?
Not until I hear what they're voting for, that's just, you know very well, the rules say
I
you
know what the
can't
rule
do the
is.
minimum amount, you can't
I
ask
know
for
what
pro
the rule
forma
is. I
to do
know
the
what the
minimum
rule is.
amount to see if it's still feasible.
Bob, I know what the rule is.
Okay,
And
but
I'm
they're not
asking
saying
you-
that. You're
I'm
saying
asking
that.
you whether you would do it, that's what
I
I'm
want to
asking.
hear what their conditions are, and then we can respond. They've told me, you're mentioning a few conditions, that's great, I'm taking that in. I want to know the rest of the thing, if it's...
Well, ideally, you would be all inside the building footprint. That would be ideal.
Okay.
Because it would have, you would have more of a buffer. There'd be less concern with
If
trees.
you make it, that we have to meet all the conditions, all the setbacks, fine, if that's what you want to say.
we're willing to sacrifice 261 Miriam.
Yeah,
You're
that's
afraid
not
of
what I'm
who's out.
asking. That's, you know, I'm interested to know, can it be done?
I'm concerned for his, I'm arguing his case now. I'm concerned it can't be done.
Well,
Winifred,
if it-
just join me on 4A, 3A, and 7C from the center street line. Impose those conditions, let's do the pro forma
And what if-
analysis, and let's go forward based
And
on
what
that.
about 6A?
And leave 7A, 8A, and 9A in the side yard setback.
And 6A?
Leave it.
But what's your rationale?
Every single time anyone comes before the ZBA that wants to do anything that violates a setback, we raise a local concern that's codified in our bylaws that people should be a certain distance from property lines to build houses. That's why the bylaws exist.
Yeah, so why-
That's the local concern. We
But
don't
you're-
have
but
to
you're-
do,
but you're
we don't
picking.
have to do the balancing test now. We
Yeah,
just
so
have
why
to
are you
articulate.
saying, no,
a-
but why are you
She's never
saying,
gonna be more
okay,
aggressive.
leave the,
She wants to be more aggressive.
yeah, why are you saying then leave these?
Do it all.
Either you do it all.
Do it all.
Do it all.
Oh, do it all, that makes it
No,
easier.
wait a minute, either you do it all, or you do,
You don't know
or
what
you
you're
do
asking
these.
for. It's not gonna work. You're gonna end up getting the original plan.
You're just doing this to look at the pro forma. It
So
has no other
I think you either do the whole thing or you just do these. Why are you doing this one? I think,
Because it's so close to the street.
but you know, there are these other,
It's 45 feet.
It's not gonna work.
It's 25 feet from the street. It's 45 feet from the center line.
right.
Oh, you're right.
But this one's pretty close.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Is it that much closer than the other ones? We don't, you can't see.
Madam Chair, I just want to make sure you're not too aggressive, right? Because it's gonna be guaranteed that they're gonna come back with a
Exactly.
performance that's not gonna work.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay, so that's why I went to the work of putting together a pro forma.
His pro forma doesn't
Right,
work.
no, he's gonna say that, of course,
You
right
rely
now,
on
because he
that,
doesn't wanna
you're
go
in
through the
trouble.
process, and he doesn't want his appraiser looked at. So, I did a very realistic pro forma that shows it works with the outline that I made.
We'll trick, and the burden of proof is on the developer to prove that that the 8 units is uneconomic.
I'm very happy to.
Then don't worry, why are you objecting so
I'm not
much?
worried. No, why-
If you think it's a slam, if you think 8 units is a slam dunk in your pro forma, you should be happy.
I'll
Why
tell
are
you,
so
Tony.
nice?
I'll tell you, Tony, 7 months we've been working on this, and I feel like I've wasted a lot of time.
No, how
This is
how
all
many
gonna
months
go
have I been
away.
working on
No,
it?
it's not.
We've all been working on it 7 months.
We've been working on it day and night.
You don't want to have affordable housing, that's why.
We're not.
8 units retains the same 2 affordable units as 10 units.
Again, setbacks everywhere except for 261.
But we worked on.
Setbacks everywhere except 261 works.
Many, many hours.
We'll be happy.
We have hundreds of hours.
Doing research.
We know all what happens to trees, we know all what happens to hydrology, we know all what happens to buffering, all good things.
Because of the wall.
Not everybody will be happy. The majority of the neighbors will be happy.
I don't see this as,
We want justice, but we want it based on true information, not flawed information.
25 feet.
yeah, it doesn't, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, you
is
get
what
more
are
money,
these
that's
other
what he's
ones?
objecting to in the performance. You
You
get,
can
right.
go to the 80% AMI.
Exactly, you get more money for the affordables. You get more revenue. Plus, I think his risk of a sales
It's
price that
really
he has right now,
hard to
1.4
tell,
million
but-
for 10 units, will go down because he'll have 8 more attractive units,
So-
6 more attractive
I
units
mean,
than he has.
Far
now.
more attractive.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but this one, what's the distance from here to here?
yeah, exactly. I mean, he'll figure it out.
It's similar to this.
These
as
are
far as I
like
can
1.4
tell.
without a yard? I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah, but does it blend in with the neighborhood? Maybe so, because look at how close that is.
Nothing here blends in with the
Of
neighborhood.
course
It's
not.
It's a
I know.
40B.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
But
But
exactly.
that's, but that's not.
Boy, I wish I could snap my fingers and go back to that 2 house
But you
lots.
That,
Oh, that
no,
will
no,
be
but Connie, let's have a dinner on that.
No,
go back.
We'll have a dinner, you wanna have a dinner on that?
no,
Okay. Want a coffee on it? There's more than you know there. Much more.
Apparently.
Yeah, I promise.
So how much do you think that should go in? I'm- I mean, I think I would like to ask something that's rational. Yeah, there's a kitchen.
First left there.
I'm sure town council could supply the language that you need to accomplish the goal that you wish to
yeah,
accomplish.
yeah. I just want to run and get some water.
Yeah, that's wait until Connie gets back.
Do we have to ask an all or nothing?
It's up to the board to decide.
You only give them one option, right? You were trying for
I mean,
I was trying for 2, but
Trying for 2,
Mr.
yeah.
Engler is saying no to 2.
but that was my question.
Yeah, I
And
haven't said any.
this or that? I mean, can you bring this in and that? And if not, can you just bring this in?
Oh, I should have offered.
All right, what do you want to ask?
Stated my position.
Tell me again.
The standard.
I don't have a problem with this one, and my feeling here is for 5 feet, they're making it quite clear that that's not enough for them. They want 8 units, they're gonna appeal anyways. Why are we doing this? To review units.
I would like to know if it's economically not feasible. If not, then fine.
For those 2, but what I'm getting at is, let's pretend it is economically feasible,
Yeah,
and they
then-
move those 2 houses
yeah.
in. Guess what happens next?
What?
They appeal.
So we.
So we're
it's okay.
just going,
No, but it doesn't.
and we're gonna end up losing
I don't.
everything. I mean, in my head, I know I've said this before, but the way I see this playing out is that we ask for a pro forma, or we say we want 5 feet for those 2 units. Mr. Engler says, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it work, because I don't wanna deal with going to the next step. And we're done, we sign everything up. In my head, what's gonna happen next? The neighbors are not gonna be happy with just 2 units getting pushed in 5 feet. This is gonna get appealed, and then what's gonna happen is the HAC is gonna throw all of these.
No, the HAC, we don't go to the HAC.
Superior Court.
Exactly.
Or Land Court.
Right, exactly.
So, that's what I see.
So I kind of agree with you, actually. So why not be more aggressive?
But that would be a matter between them. You'd be a statutory defendant, of course. but-
Right,
But
right.
Yeah, but that
obviously,
would mean you didn't make us happy. You didn't work for the town. I mean-
Litigation would be borne first by the plaintiff, but also, you would expect the applicant as the real party in interest to bear all of the costs.
Right. No,
regarding.
You're fighting for
But
us.
am
If
I-
anybody
am I-
should appeal, it should be them.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if you're fighting for us, if anybody should appeal, it should be them. You shouldn't come to a decision that your town, your neighbors
Yeah,
appeal.
no, but also, I don't think I can come to a decision, even if I don't like the result and the town doesn't like it. If I feel that the local concern is outweighed
No,
by the
that's
regional.
not- that's not an
I
issue.
understand that. If it turns out to be economically,
Yes.
not feasible.
We're toast if it's
then I-
economically unfeasible. We're toast.
Then I'm not gonna say, okay, you still, we're not gonna go along with it, because I feel like we do have to do a balancing.
You don't have to do a balancing
Not
now.
now, later.
Exactly.
But that has nothing to do
But
with
now
this.
it's time to be aggressive.
Forma open
Now it's time to be
now.
aggressive.
This is the only shot you guys have.
Right, yeah, this is it.
It's
That's
the
exactly
only
Honey,
right.
shot
if you're
you
worried
have.
about pushing 7C all the way back to
Just
45
just do
feet,
our-
let's do
do it
unit
all the way
4A and 3A at the bylaw
Yeah.
Yeah.
limit, 25 feet, and let's make as a condition of 7C, pushing it back from the road to
Halfway.
something that makes you comfortable, but is less than 45 feet the required amount. Let's say 37 and a half feet, if you don't want to push it back that far.
I don't think
And
they
let's,
can.
and let's do all 3. It might have the same impact on them. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of this, we don't know the answers. We gotta
Right,
take the
that's-
next
yeah,
step.
But you only have one more shot, though. That's the thing. There's no more incremental back and forth.
You can use local concerns to go to 8 units. That is allowed.
Don't say that. She doesn't agree. Don't say it. I know.
So you don't know how far this house is from the road?
Which house?
This one.
No, I don't know the distance. That's Pam's. They see the issue. They see right into it.
They should be Marcy.
Hmm?
They should try to be Marcy.
Oh, they're trying. It's hard, man. I'm telling you, when I'm over there.
And the current house
When
is
I'm on that
how
side,
far?
it's tough.
Which one?
The current
The
house
existing
on Howard
house?
Hill is how far?
Exactly.
Well, it's within the,
You know, it's so loud.
within the,
The current house?
yeah, this is the current house. See, the red line is the setback line.
No, this one.
Oh, the existing house over
Yeah.
there? Maybe one of the other
Is
plans
this
show
it,
it.
right here? Is that it?
How far is the existing house on Howard Hill from the road?
The one that exists on Howard, oh, that's further back, look where it is. It's right here. It's back away.
It's inside.
It's inside the setback.
All right,
I mean, you're doing him a favor if you put 7C, you're doing him a favor if you put 7C.
so he can say it's not
It's not
economic,
economic.
that's okay.
It's inside the setback from the
Okay.
street.
Yep.
It's 50 something.
Sometimes it's be careful what you wish for.
I know. Well, I think it'd be nice to get those in, these.
I don't think it's gonna make Tam better jobs. Certainly not for her.
Well, what you're doing is you're relieving the pressure here because of that wall.
Well, they've moved, they could move the wall even more.
Yeah.
Well, it would have to jog out like that. It would go-
Well, not necessarily. You could come.
They're not gonna lose more backyard here. It's gonna end up looking like,
I
and
don't
then
know.
jog.
Well, we'll
jog.
see. Not necessarily.
Just afraid of making it easy. We're gonna make it easy for them to make it uneconomic. I can't help it, I'm looking,
All right,
I'm looking
so-
down there.
So we're gonna have these two come in. What do you want to do about this one?
I think it should be pushed back, whether it goes back to 45 feet, I think we have to do that. We certainly can.
How many feet? I don't know where you're at, Winifred.
So halfway back, like 7 feet, 10 feet?
25 feet going.
10 feet would,
Additional?
yeah, if you make it 10 feet, it'll stick out 5, right?
It's like it's going to the back of the side.
35, it'll stick out 10.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if we do it.
To the center.
Madam Chair, if I may, I noticed the discussion about pushing 11 Pallet Hill back, that existing house. If you all remember, there was a conversation a couple sessions ago where when you go down Hallett Hill, all the homes are set back from the road, and that creates that sense of neighborhood and community. And by having the existing plan with the house bumped right up to the road, Tony's been trying to explain that, but you have to imagine going down Hallett Hill Road, and all of a sudden, boom, that house is right there on the road. So I'm just asking as an abutter if that could be pushed back and given some consideration there. It's off the road now because there's a berm, there's a tree, and there's a driveway in front of the house, and that gives a lot of space there, and it conforms with the rest of that road. That's what
Right,
makes it
that's
such
where
a
it
nice
was,
neighborhood.
where it was
But
before.
having it up on the road doesn't fit and doesn't conform with the neighborhood.
I mean, that's where the old house was. You can't push it all the way back.
Well, right now, the setback line runs right in the middle of
Yeah.
7C.
Right.
Mom, can I ask you a question?
So if it's a, how about moving it back 10 feet, maybe 30?
Can I ask Alana a question?
So how about 10, move it back 10 feet?
Go as far back as you want. As far as you're willing to go.
Then it will stick out 5 feet.
What will stick
But
out
at
5
least
feet?
it'll be closer. It'll be 5 feet over the, into the.
Oh, yeah, yes, 5 feet.
setback.
You're talking about going from 25.4 to 35.
Yeah,
Great,
or 35.
35.
35 feet.
You willing to do that?
Yes.
Answer that? Okay. So we're gonna move,
Okay. Got it.
So, Alana, what do we have to do procedurally on this?
You have to determine what conditions you want to ask for. so there are those
So
two
that,
conditions you
yeah,
want
moving 4A and 3A
to the 5 feet, so it's
5
25
feet and move 7C this way 10 feet.
10 feet, so that would get it to 35.
35.
35 feet.
Yeah, that's a little less than 10 feet.
It's at 25 right now.
It's at 45.4.
Better than.
You're saying move 7C 10 feet back from the
Yeah,
proposed,
yeah.
and
10 more feet.
4A and 3A will abide by the setback
Right.
requirement.
I didn't get that. Talk about Howard Hill.
Right.
Going back 10 feet.
10 feet more inside.
10 feet
yeah.
further away from Howard Hill.
Well, actually, so that it's 35 feet, so that's 9.6 feet.
35 feet from the right line.
From
the
that property
edge-
line, that-
Yeah, from
And
the
the other
property.
two are
Make it comply.
Make it comply with the side yard setback of 20.
No, no, 4A
4A
and
and
3A.
that's a 5 foot.
Yeah.
25 feet total.
You want my answer?
Reluctantly. I said reluctantly.
If you give us 2 weeks, because I don't have Jeff here, I don't have my architect here, I don't know whether this is a cost issue or not. We may be able with it, we may not, but if you give us an extension of 2 weeks, we can come back and say.
I think you have to
we're
give
okay
us the
with it or
extension
we're
of
not.
2 weeks.
Huh?
Yeah, you give us
I
the
think you have to
extension.
give us the extension.
No, no.
Oh, I'm giving you the extension. You can pick a date that's in that range. I can give you an answer, which you can't do right now, because I don't know.
But it's,
The question is, are you going to give it pro forma to be reviewed?
We may not if we accept these conditions.
yeah,
But if you
okay.
don't, you'll
But
give
if you
a pro
don't,
forma.
but then
And you'll
you
give
need
money for
more
it to
than
be
2
reviewed.
weeks
No,
for
we
that.
we can come back in and say, we'll give you one. You have to
I
hire
see.
someone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, no, no, I
I would probably
understand.
recommend Judy now. Do you have any conflict with Judy?
Not Judy, she doesn't do financial,
She's moving into it.
she does,
She has someone who's
she
doing it.
does fiscal.
No, but she's been
Wendy Cohen does most of it. Used to work with an I don't know. I think it's called New, Real, she's done 3 projects recently.
It's November 3rd-ish. And I know that my calendar is not up to
I
date.
cannot do November 3rd, but, we had,
Chair, do you want to do something else with this?
November, we had reserved
The chair's
November
permission, I'm
3rd.
just summarizing what's under discussion right now, which is that,
We have November 2nd reserved.
if you can put the plan back to the overall project, if that's possible, if somebody can put that back on the screen.
November 2nd?
The board is asking
Wednesday.
the applicant
It's one
to
week.
move these two.
Oh, is that too close?
No,
Lot
it's
4A
it's
and
one
Lot
day less than 2
3A,
weeks.
5 feet further from the property line, so as to comply with the 25-foot setback. And then with respect to Lot 7C, to take it from approximately 25 feet
November 2nd,
from
you can't
Holland
do?
Hill, to move it back another 10 feet off of Holland Hill to 35 feet.
November 1?
And so the developer has said that they will go back, they will give an extension of time to finish the public hearing. They will go back and look at whether they are able to just agree to that.
Okay.
And if they can't, then they will give a pro forma to
No,
be reviewed
I
and then
can't do
give
that.
more time so that it can be peer reviewed.
28?
So they're trying
Friday
to
night?
figure out a date.
35 feet is to the porch of Howard Hill.
Have you
can't
come
hear
in
you.
on a Friday
35
night,
feet to the porch of Howard Hill.
Yeah, can we,
What?
There's a.
45 feet, 35 feet to the porch of Howard.
That's how they measured it.
Okay, good.
As defined by the.
That was not how it was marked on the sidewalk, but that's how it was.
That's how
It's marked here.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
The 8th of, that's an election day, we can't do
I
it.
think Jeff might have put the 2nd on his calendar. Because he was here when we,
When we were
How's that
saying
date?
that we were leaving certain dates
because
open?
we, had-
All right, he might be able to do the second, let's, if you want to do that, I have.
because we all put that down.
Okay.
I think he had said he was available.
Okay.
I'm not sure you did.
Oh, no?
Do you know, Noreen?
Do you have a form for the
Sorry,
extension?
maybe
Do you have something, just a form that you give people?
It should be in the computer.
Well, if not the 2nd, then what?
The third?
I can't do the 3rd.
Can't do the third if you want.
No, we can't do the 8th, that's election day. But the 9th,
I can do the 9th or the 10th.
The 10th.
so he's going to.
I can't do this.
She can't do the 10th. Can you
This
do
is
the
the problem with a
9th?
bunch of lawyers.
Yeah, I have a meeting with Jeff.
Can you do the 9th?
I can do the
I can't do
9th.
anything on the summer.
And then we can go for that.
9.
Well,
He can't do anything that week.
14?
I can do the 14th.
Just a second. No. Oh, you mean that week?
Yeah.
He's putting all
Do you want to check on the second?
Yep.
Meeting, if I send you a letter that says we can or we can't, and we'll give you a proposal and ask you to hire someone.
But then we have to meet, we have to set.
Was the date set? Sorry.
No, we're still,
No, Bob, you're right. You could do that. You could say pick a date and you would send in the information and they could meet and then continue, but you'd have to give an extension as well.
No.
Yeah, but then pick a date that you guys can meet. If I can't, we can make it Jeff can, we can send it in.
So the second.
Then you can
Okay.
hire somebody and cook.
All right, so then the 2nd.
November 2nd, November 2nd. 7 or 7:30? 7?
Yeah, that way we can get out of here before 11.
But before you continue to the new date and time, we need an extension.
Yeah.
I think Noreen
So-
is printing it out or finding it.
November 2nd?
November 2nd at
Have
7.
that date,
Seven,
I
okay.
can sign.
It's coming. So
Come on, Maureen.
The printer's upstairs.
So you're
So I
gonna say yes or
understand.
no on the 7th?
That's what I need to know.
On the 2nd?
You're going to say yes or no?
And if it's no,
We'll give the pro forma.
I will give you a pro forma for what you asked me.
They'll hire someone.
and then but then you'll have to, and you'll give an extension.
What about if I say, we'll give you a pro forma and we'll be ready by the time you actually want to hire somebody?
Yeah. Yeah, but then we would need an extension to a date, and
We'll pick a date.
How long does that take?
Usually takes 2 weeks for the.
can we pick a date now?
Yeah, let's reserve a date, that's why I'm asking. Can we reserve a date? In the event, you say no on the 2nd?
If we
So,
say, all right, get somebody on the 2nd.
Yeah,
It
so-
takes a week to get somebody and 2 weeks to review it, that's 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
Can't do Thanksgiving week.
I'm looking at
Thanksgiving dinner.
the week of the 28th of, we have town meeting
This is
on the
getting really
29th.
bad.
I could do the 30th.
First, I have 3 hearings.
The 1st of December?
First is fine.
I mean, that's when they would be reporting.
Oh,
Wait,
Thursday, the 1st?
do we, I can
Yes,
do
on the
it.
2nd, we say, we're gonna do a pro forma, we're
Yeah.
gonna hire somebody, they're gonna review it, we're gonna see what they say, we're gonna be ready with comments, everybody comes in here on the 1st.
Oh, December, okay.
I'm not gonna like this. I have Bruins tickets that night, all right?
So, I'm in Panama.
About 5 o'clock.
I hate to be, if I could.
The 30th?
He's
Well,
out
again,
of town.
Jeff might be able to be here, I'd like to be here. because
Yeah.
And that's the night I have.
Can we do it on the
29?
See, I have
29th, we have town meeting that night. The 29th of November, it's town
Go the
meeting.
30th?
No, somebody
you
can't.
You
All
cannot,
three of those nights I'm tied up. They follow the week before that, though, maybe. the
Yeah,
24th.
exactly.
that's Thanksgiving.
How about the
No, I'm drawing the line.
No, I
How
can't
about the
do
week
that. Or
after?
the day before, I can't do that.
What about Monday, the 21st?
Yeah.
20,
I'm not available that whole week.
You're gone that week?
I'm gone.
Good grief.
How about the 5th?
town meeting,
6th?
I'm good.
I can do the 6th.
December 6th?
Yeah.
December 6th. Atlanta?
Yep.
December 6th.
You
Hang
don't.
on a second.
What?
No, I started trial on November
When?
7th.
Oh, no, I get
So,
that.
so you can't do the 6th?
No, he's got a trial starting on the
How about
7th.
the 5th?
Get it.
Can't do the 5th?
No, we have town meeting.
And you're done from 7th on?
That week.
How about this, how about Friday the 2nd?
I could do this.
I can do the 2nd. It's a Friday night, December 2nd.
I can do it.
I can do it.
I'm not happy, but I can do it.
Come on,
You're
Alan,
not
what
at
you got that
Bruins.
for down?
Sure.
But, I mean,
Oh, all right.
7 o'clock on the 2nd?
But that's only
If you-
That's only
if you
if-
need it.
It's only.
That would be a pro forma meeting, right?
Yeah.
Which won't happen.
But that's treated no differently procedurally than any other
Right,
meeting,
that's right.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
that's
and-
right.
and-
But
but you would-
otherwise, if you close, if I say, okay, you close the hearing the next meeting, then you have your 40-day period to start.
Right.
Oh, here comes Noreen, hobbling along.
Not really.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Okay.
Deputy Director.
What's the date?
What does it say?
November 2?
Through.
No, we're gonna change that. Already set up for December.
So do you
Well,
want to
that's
make
only
it
if it's-
December?
Do you want to just put this December in the event?
First extension, yeah, okay, it's through the December. Yeah, that's-
It should say through, right?
Yeah.
All right, so November 2nd, and then December 2nd if it's
They're gonna-
the... Yes. I'm missing a birthday dinner for my father-in-law, just so you know. I know.
On the second?
Maybe you
No,
wanted
right
to?
now.
Oh, no.
Did you want to? We have to fix that one.
All right, we holding December 2?
We're holding December 2.
A Friday?
Yes.
Yeah, we just want to.
I know, we're
It's right through.
We're desperate.
November 2nd, November what?
And December,
It's November 2,
November.
and if he says,
November
okay, we're
2nd, and then
closing
if
this
needed,
hearing.
it would be
That's right.
Yeah.
December 2. It's November 2 and December 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, mine's all on my dining room table. It has to be done by Thanksgiving.
See you.
We're not gonna eat it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Please.
I hope we scream loud but not too loud.
Come on.
I've heard loud.
Can I send a red line version of the document to another ZBA? Is that-
You know, that's deliberating. So if you do it, then you would need to send it to everybody so everybody can see it. You're okay with that? Putting up with it.
Well, no, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Did
thanks
you
for.
vote to accept this? Did you vote to?
Yeah.